Sit with me for a while, maybe under an open sky with a small fire crackling in front of us. I'll tell you my story. Not a perfect story, not a heroic one, just a real one. I'm 35 years old now, but somewhere inside me, that little boy still exists, the one who believed life was meant to be lived like a dream. And maybe that belief is the only thing that never changed. I was born into a middle-class family where life was simple, but never easy. We didn't have much, but we had land. And in our world, land meant everything. It fed us, shaped us, and sometimes tested us. Our house was always full, a big joint family, too many people to count sometimes. Voices echoing through the walls, laughter spilling into the evenings, small arguments that disappeared by night. It was never quiet, and that was the beauty of it. I had a brother, 3 years older than me, but he wasn't just my brother. He was my first friend, and sometimes my worst enemy. We fought like we were strangers and cared for each other like no one else existed. I still remember one evening. The sky was gray, and the water was flowing stronger than usual near a small waterfall close to our place. We were playing, laughing, pushing each other like kids do. Then suddenly, one push too hard. I slipped. For a second, I remember nothing but the sound of water and my own heartbeat. When I got up, there was blood and fear, and my brother standing there, frozen. I almost lost half my front tooth that day. We didn't speak about it much later, but somehow it became one of those memories that stayed, not as pain, but as a story. There were many like that. Cuts, bruises, small accidents that felt big at that time. But now, they feel like pieces of a life that was fully lived. If my childhood had a heartbeat, it was my mother. She was everything. Not just to me, but to the entire family. She carried more than we ever saw. Responsibilities, worries, pain, but she never let it reach us. To me, she was always calm, always strong, always there. Even today, when I think of safety, I think of her. But behind her strength, there was a quiet absence in our home. My father. He wasn't there, not because he didn't care, but because life forced him away. He once had a business, a bar in our town, but one mistake, one wrong trust, and everything collapsed. A friend ran away with his money, leaving behind debts and broken trust. To fix everything, my father left for the Middle East. What was supposed to be a short time became 10 years. 10 years without seeing him. 10 years of growing up without knowing what it feels like to have your father around. I didn't hate him. I didn't even blame him. But the truth is, when someone is gone for that long, they don't come back as the same person in your life. They come as a stranger. In that empty space, someone else quietly became important. My father's brother, my uncle. He didn't try to replace anyone. He just showed up. For me and my brother, he became the person we trusted, the one we went to when something went wrong. Even now, nothing has changed. If life confuses me, I go to my brother first, and then to him. Some bonds aren't built by blood alone, but by presence. My childhood was not just laughter and play. It was also responsibility. Every morning, I walked nearly 3 miles to school. Dusty roads, quiet mornings, sometimes alone, sometimes with thoughts I didn't even understand back then. After school, there was no rest. There was work waiting, cattle to feed, farms to take care of, and somewhere in between all that, a small boy watching other kids play football. I remember those moments clearly, standing there, holding a rope, watching them run, shout, laugh. I wanted to join them. I really did. But I stayed, because some lives teach you early that duty comes before desire. Still, I found a strange kind of happiness even in watching. Maybe that's how I learned to accept life, without complaining. But there was one place where everything felt different. My mother's home. Whenever we went there for vacations, it felt like stepping into another life. No responsibilities, no pressure, just love. Pure, simple love. My mom's family treated us like we were the center of their world. Whatever we asked for, they gave. Whatever we wanted, they tried to make happen. I still remember one night, sitting in front of a TV, holding a controller for the first time, playing Super Mario. That small moment felt like magic, like I had escaped into a world where nothing was difficult. When I look back now, those were the happiest days of my life. No stress, no overthinking, just being alive. Then, one day, a letter arrived. It was from my father. After 10 years, he was coming back. I didn't know how to feel. Happy? Maybe. Curious? Definitely. But also distant. Because how do you welcome someone you never really knew? When he finally came back, he didn't feel like Dad. He felt like someone important, but unfamiliar. We didn't talk much. He was strict, traditional, silent. And I didn't know how to reach him. That distance between us stayed. Soon after, he made a decision. I was sent to a boarding school, far from home. And just like that, another chapter began. A life of routines. Waking up at 5 a.m., cold mornings, quiet halls, church prayers before sunrise, study hours before school even started. Days filled with discipline. Evenings filled with more study. Nights ending in silence. And this repeated every day. For 2 years, I went home only once a year. After that, life didn't slow down. It kept changing. Schools changed, places changed, people changed. 5 different schools before I finished. Every time I made a friend, I had to leave. Every time I felt settled, I had to start over. And slowly, I stopped trying. I became quieter, more independent. I stopped depending on people. I started depending on myself. My world became smaller, but stronger. I avoided crowds, functions, conversations, but somewhere inside, I was building a version of myself that didn't need anyone. At least, that's what I believed. On the outside, my life looked stable. I was good in studies. My family supported me financially. I didn't struggle the way many others did. But inside, there were questions, loneliness, silence, and a mind that was always searching for something it couldn't explain. Still, life moved forward. I finished school, and like every young boy standing at the edge of the future, I had to choose a path. I had dreams, many of them, but my father had only one expectation. So I chose engineering. I got admission to a university, and I thought, this is just the next step. But I didn't know this step was not just a step. It was a turning point. For the first time in my life, I was free. No strict rules, no constant control, just me and a whole new world waiting. And sitting here now, telling you all this, I can say one thing for sure. Everything that happened after that changed me forever.